Recruitment 15, Fifetrooper, Paikia Heke in the Mandalorian Mercs. So this is video 1 on how to put together a Biker Scout costume. This one I'm going to talk about when you first get your kit. What I usually start on first. I've built this, the kit that I'm showing you on right now is the 7th Biker Scout kit that I've built. I generally help people usually in the Washington State area build Biker Scouts. I have also helped people internationally through like email messaging, Skype. If you do need help with somebody that, if you're in an area where you can't have somebody help you, like a mentor help you, then feel free to contact me. I'll put links how to contact me in the bottom for costuming help. If you're inquiring for me to make you one entirely, I don't do that, so I can help give advice, but that's all I can do. When you first get your kit, usually it's trimmed because this is all vacuum formed. It's usually made out of ABS plastic. If it's not trimmed, meaning you get a piece, or you get your kit and it has like an edge around it where they have put it in the mold and put the plastic over it, vacuum formed it, and they just kind of popped it out like that. Obviously you're going to want to trim it down. Usually you will get it pre-trimmed. You also have to cut it down to your size because everybody's a different size. So if you're like a 6-foot guy and you know like 180 or something pounds, then usually you do not have to do a lot of cutting because this is kind of built for that. If you're smaller, then you will need to cut it down. For each different piece you want to cut it down appropriately so it doesn't look weird. So these are the knees. If you need to size these down, you want to cut along this edge around here. That's where your Dremel comes in handy. It has a cutting tool on it, and this is for making holes, but it has a cutting tool on it, and you want to cut them this way. This is a forearm. Usually you don't have to cut down forearms at all. I'm 5'5", like 115, so I didn't have to cut anything on the forearms. But if you do for some reason, you're going to want to cut along this edge here and make sure you keep this shape here. But chances are you will not have to cut it. Your bicep piece here, obviously cut it this way. And your shoulder bells, if you need to completely downsize them, you can go just follow the entire perimeter of the shoulder bell. For me, I just cut off the bottom as strips until I got it to the length that I needed. Limb pieces, I'm just talking about limb pieces right now. You do want to make sure you take your Dremel and go around and round the edges on all of these. So here, here on your shoulders, here, and here, just here. Your knees, usually, you know, this area, sometimes these areas in here, so that it doesn't catch on anything, because the last thing you need is to have a sharp corner of your armor get caught on a piece of elastic or Velcro or your whatever, and then you get a run in that, and then you have to replace the whole thing. It's just a good idea to round the edges on everything. Once you've done all that, what you want to do is, and I'll show you on a forearm piece, you want to cut slits right, like about this is a good size. Sometimes they come with slits already pre-cut, sometimes they don't. If they don't, you're going to want to cut them in. So about that big, basically, so that you can get a piece of elastic through the hole. This is the size elastic that I use on the arms and legs usually. It's a good size, and you do that on both sides. So here, legs, same deal, you know, cut slits. Bicep pieces, cut slits, here. You do not need to do that for the shoulder bell because you don't want that there, because this is the piece that everybody kind of sees the most. So you've cut slits in your armor now, okay? You know, you want to make sure they're all free of any little sharp pieces so nothing will get caught. If you do get a kit, often it comes, usually it comes with all the webbing and elastic and Velcro that you need. If it doesn't, you want to have a white sticky back Velcro. Hopefully you can see it. there's a square of it right here, and there's one at the top here, and again on the other side. Then what you do is you take your black elastic and you cut out the length to go around your arm. You don't want it to be too tight, otherwise, you know, you'll be uncomfortable with circulation issues. So Velcro squares on each side of the elastic, and it'll go through the hole and attached to the Velcro to hold it in place. And then it goes around, and then in the hole to come back out and attach on the inside. Usually when you get to that point, you do not ever have to take this apart. I mean, you can, that it's built so you can. Then usually what you do is you just slide it on when you're getting ready to go at the door for your troop. You do want to make sure you have Velcro at the top, because what you're going to do is when you get your flight suit, you're going to sew a little Velcro square here for the forearm piece, like that. And here, the bicep piece, at the top of your shoulder, it's going to go on top of your flak vest for the shoulder belt. Has a piece here, and it'll sit like that. That's how I do it. Some people will attach a kind of like a T-shaped piece of Velcro, so to make this easier to understand. You have this piece on here, and you'll have another piece. Some people will do it where you have a piece of elastic that comes down, or Velcro that comes down this way, and then you attach it to that piece of Velcro so that this is actually attached here. So you can take the whole thing off and this will stay here like that. Kind of like how the TK's Stormtroopers do it, I believe. For me personally, I prefer to keep the chest and the shoulder separate, and then the piece of Velcro attaches to the suit you're wearing underneath this. So it's like that. And then this can come off. Then you don't have to deal with, when you put the chest piece on, then you have to like slide into the arms and attach under here, whatever. Instead of doing that, if it's just Velcro, then you can just put your arm in the Velcro piece, slide on, attach, and you're good to go. For the shoulder pieces, since we are not cutting slits, basically Velcro at the top for what I just described, and on either side. And again, elastic with Velcro squares sewn to each side. Measure your arms so that you have the good distance, and then I do it attached on the inside like this, so it stays nice and loose, so you can move around and it's a lot easier. The other way, which I think is so that it's facing outward and it goes around the arm like that, you can. I personally, when I did that, and then I would move, and I would have more problems with the Velcro coming off than doing it that way, like that. Bicep piece, we have what's called a T-bit right here. Usually it comes with the kit. What you're going to have to do is glue it into the thing here. For that, you're going to want to use E6000 and a clamp, and clamps. So you clamp it down, and you can leave it for like a couple hours overnight. I usually leave them overnight. I glue the crap out of it and then leave it overnight, so I know it's not going to go anywhere. There is a little piece of wire that you probably won't be able to see, but there is a little piece of wire that goes around right in here to hold the T-bit in place. So what you do is, on either side, take your Dremel and drill little tiny little holes on the inside here so that the wire can come through to hold it in place, and then you twist it and fold it down, and then you use your hot glue gun and just cover this thing in hot glue so it has a nice protective coating over it. And you want to do that, you want to make sure you do that, because the same reason with the Velcro is that it could get the wire, if it's left uncovered like that, it can catch on your flight suit, it can come off, it can pull, and you get runs in your flight suit. So just to keep the wire down and from catching on anything, wire 2 holes with your Dremel, pull the wire through, after you've glued this down, so clamp that. Now the wire sticking through on either side, twist and fold it down. Once this is finished drying with the E6000, then go ahead and cover this thing in hot glue. So it's not going to go anywhere. And it's really important that you put your knees on the right way. They go this way, not this way. A lot of people put them on upside down. It's kind of like most biker scouts put their knees on upside down when they're first doing all this, because you kind of have to figure out this way as opposed to this way. So make sure they're on this way. Little trim at the bottom of the knee. If you need help, you can do what I've done for my friend. Put a little arrow on the inside, so when you're putting it on, you know which way it goes up. And eventually, once you've worn your kit enough, you're going to know just out of habit which way is up. But make sure you put your knees on the right way, because otherwise you'll look silly and the other scouts will make fun of you. That's all your arm pieces for the Biker Scout.